said. This one ties into that last question. I'm going to paraphrase it slightly, forgive the question writer. Is anyone here on the stage willing to say it was a mistake to chase payday loan shops out of the Esquimalt? Scott Attrell, Josh Zepler, Brenda. Okay, there we go. And now for something completely different, to quote Monty Python. I told the three mayoral candidates we would do this just before we started the session tonight. A chance for them to ask a question of their opponents. Scott Attrell, here's your number one. A question you'd like to ask John and Barb.
Yeah, John, you are an emergency response specialist. You've been in the field for a long time. The reduction of lanes on Admiral Road, given that there are so many, two of the largest employers in the whole island actually existing on that road that deal with things that are volatile in nature. I can remember the Russian frigate caught fire. Anybody remember that? And they had to evacuate the area. That was scary. Now, if we remove 2 lanes from that area, what are the difficulties going to be for emergency response, given that something of serious magnitude is about to occur?
Whatever design we plan there, we have to account for the use of emergency vehicles to get there. And certainly some of the designs that we've seen throughout the municipality could cause problems there. I've heard a surprising amount of feedback about why we need to keep 4 lanes going there. And whatever plan we use has to really account for the use of emergency vehicles, because when things go wrong, as you know, with the Gijon fire, time is critical. I'd like to give you more, but time.
John, while you have the microphone, you threw second, a question for you. Or would you like to ask a question if you can?
Well, I guess this one is for Barb, and that is, I think people here would be very interested to know what the sewage treatment process has cost us in terms of legal fees, consultants, and staff time so far.
Thank you. Barb?
Thank you. I think that the question needs to be turned around and say, what wouldn't it have cost us if we didn't do what we've done? We would have had a McLaughlin site, we would have lost the tax dollars on both of those sites, and economic development, good luck. I don't have the dollars off the top of my head, but I'm willing to find those for you if you need them.
While you have the microphone, your turn to ask the question.
Thank you. John, in terms of part of your role as mayor, it would be to be the co-chair at the police board. Do you see any problems fulfilling this role from your former life?
No, I don't. I would parenthetically say, though, that I would be willing to look at an option for someone other than the mayor to be the chair of the board if there was agreement in the community to do that. But I understand the role of conflict and difficulty in dealing with a former deputy chief who'd be working with the chief, and there would be no problem. The chief is in charge of operations. I would simply be there to run the policy and be the best board member that I could.
Thank you.
So this is historic Esquimalt. Would you consider supporting a heritage foundation? And the second question would be, would you consider to preserve areas from development, and i.e. heritage nodes in our community?
Who here would be in favor of supporting a heritage foundation being created? Would anybody not be in favor? That's a tough one. And the second part of the question? Do you see areas that you would be willing to mark as being preserved from development? That's a tough one to do here. I know that's a real tough one. Can you talk to them later? You get an indication there, ones would be willing to entertain that? All right, on this one, how many of you would be opposed, or I guess put it this way, how many of you would be in favor of banning the use of wood-burning stoves in Esquimalt? Obviously, key to somebody's question, they wrote the letters nice and big. Linda would be in favor. Mayor Barb would be in favor of banning using wood-burning stoves. Here we go. Okay, next question was from,
Good evening, candidates. My name is Kelly Bryan. My family's been a part of TV for only 90 years almost.
And my question is as follows. It's been an issue for almost 4 years for myself, and it goes as follows. What would candidates do to create a collaborative environment between the Esquimalt municipality, the armed forces, BC Transit, and the BC School Board to make our school zones a safe place for pedestrians, children, commuting to and from school?
Where can we start with that one? Bob, why don't we start with you, if that's okay, and work our way down the road? Did you pass the microphone down, Brenda? What would you make school zones safer for everybody?
I think we need to drop it right down to 20 and put school guards out and have people able to report if a vehicle goes flying by and over 20, if they think it's over 20, because the most that need to be protected are the children that we are trying to educate and give them a chance to get to our opportunities that we are doing now.
Over.
I think we need to make sure that we have more enforcement on the speed limits at school zones. Thanks.
Thank you, and I'm of the same opinion. I believe that whether we set the speed limit at 30 or 20, if we don't provide enforcement to make sure that happens, and if that means taking and putting some extra money in the police budget to make it happen, then that's what we got to do.
I think we need better signage of the school zones, because if you are not driving through our area on a regular basis, you may not actually know that you're approaching a school, and it can be easy to zip right through. So we need the signs bigger and stronger, and then we need the speed limit enforced.
I agree with the signage. My daughter goes to Rock Heights Middle School, and there was an accident there last year at the corner of Rock Heights Avenue and the school street. And a sign at that corner would be very helpful.
And very much, yeah. Thank you. While she's passing the microphone down, I want to say special thanks to Katie, Summit, and Phil. They are the 3 students here from Esquimalt High that are running the light and sound system. Thank you. Great job, making the sound look good. Make it.
So, as others have said, it's about police enforcement, about the education of the drivers and the students to make sure that they're being safe. But I think it needs to go beyond just big speed. I think, looking at Macaulay as a prime example, we need to communicate with the MPs. We need them there ticketing their own people and getting them, because it's not just the Esquimalt residents, it's also the military-based traffic that's driving far too fast.
Thank you, Kelly. I know Kelly's done a lot of hard work in watching over Macaulay School and Lyle Street there, and we should give them our appreciation for that. But it's not Kelly's responsibility. I think that's the point of this question. It's the responsibility of government. Again, back to my other example, why government's not evil. When the school district said we don't have any more money for crossing guards, guess who stepped in? The township of Esquimalt. Yeah, it's not our responsibility, but we have to get our children to school safely, so we funded those crossing guards. So your children and grandchildren get to school without being hit by a car. That's crucial. That's government serving the people.
Thank you. So I was one of the people who said, yes, we need to have crossing guards, and yes, it should be covered by the municipality. I'm also thinking that maybe we need to have more money put aside for them to have more crossing guards, because I think some of those crosswalks are not adequately covered. I believe that there needs to be communication with parents and forces, and I would really like to see some other kind of signage. What can we put on the roads that make it a different color or something, so that people do understand they are in a school zone? We need to have enforcement, and that goes without saying. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it would be possible, but could we create some sort of committee or commission with representation from transit, the forces, a school board rep, and one of our municipal councillors to at least start meeting and talking jointly about this? So that would be one idea I would bring forward. Speed humps, what if we put traffic calming on roads with schools rather than thoroughfares? I don't know, that might be a good idea.
Thanks, Beth. Mark?
I have to agree with all my fellow candidates and incumbents. However, on the issue of signage, we look on the street signs on the side of the road, perhaps we should put them on the ground. We actually see where we are when we're driving along, and perhaps it's a sensory strip, a rumble strip, or some sort of reminder as you are actually entering the school zone.
Thank you. In fact, this past term, I sat down with the chair of the school board and with Department of National Defense, and we talked about how to do this better at Macaulay School. And as a result, they improved the drop-off area on the back road. The difficulty we have is moms and dads driving and dropping off on Lyle Street, and we tried to improve that by adding more parking space on Macaulay as well. There's clearly more to be done. Crossing guards are helpful, and
Thank you.
thank you.
John?
So, what happens when you reduce lanes on corridors is that people find other alternative ways to get to work. The military in particular, if they're late, they get charged. So when they go another route, it's because they have to, because the corridor is now just one lane instead of two. And to keep the corridors as corridors, then they'll stay on the corridors and not go into the school zones, which are actually in the corridors. So one would hope they wouldn't.
Well, having written hundreds of school speeding tickets in my career, the solution is one of education and enforcement combined. And one of the problems we face is that when we enforce in areas around schools, who are the biggest offenders? People who live in the area. And the education part becomes very important. The other problem is, I know on Lyle Street, for example, is we've got the wrong types of signs that actually make it unenforceable. We've got advisory signs and regulatory signs, and that needs to be changed for proper enforcement.
Thank you, John. Yeah.
As a parent who has kids that have been going to Macaulay for a while, both walking and driving, I haven't noticed it as very dangerous. Occasionally, the military does speed through there, but I agree with Scott. If they hadn't messed up with the corridor, people wouldn't be looking for these quick accesses to their jobs. I like the crossing guards, and I think that, again, parents volunteering there is really the solution, not more taxes and more government intervention.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Bob? Oh, we did. Sorry, that's the end of that. Thank you. Okay, we're going to give the candidates at the end a few minutes to, just 30 seconds each to sum up. In the long run, we covered a lot. If you can ask a yes or no question of the candidates, we can get a couple more questions in here. Anybody have a yes or no question up there? Okay, well, I'm going to be up there in just a sec. Here's one for you. One other yes or no one here that we could do. Are you in favor of energy conservation projects in Esquimalt being required to pay for themselves? That's a little tricky. Based on that wording, hands up. Are you in favor of requiring energy conservation projects in Esquimalt to pay for themselves? Doesn't say over what time period. Show of hands? I know. Yep, for yes. Okay, those candidates are. The person that asked that, if you want to know more, then find the candidates afterwards and say, why did you or why did you not put up your hand? Up here. Excuse me. Thank you. Hi, welcome.
Good evening. Would the candidates be willing to put in more cycle lanes in Esquimalt?
In favor of putting in more cycle lanes in Esquimalt. Okay, let's flip it around for clarity's sake. Not in favor of more cycle lanes in Esquimalt. There you go. Okay. Anybody else got a yes or no question for the candidates? Yes, going to pass the microphone down. Here we go. Okay, you please just so everybody can hear.
I'm just wondering that money saved by not going forward with overpriced sewage treatment plant. Are any candidates willing to spend some money with other municipalities to bring back and install commuter rail on the E&N Railroad?
Those opposed to spending any money with other municipalities to bring back commuter rail on the ENM? Depends on the cost, I understand the question. Okay, and on a related note question here. Is it true that Transit is planning to cut service on the number 10 and number 25 routes that run through Esquimalt? Do any of you know the answer to that? And then we'll come to the question here. Barb and Ben.
Transit has changed that route, and we have received a lot of concern about the changes. I have asked for it to be put back on the next agenda for the Transit Commission to review.
Beth, happy with that? Okay, you want to answer that?
Yeah, Era was part of the group that fought to actually have the number 10 brought in. It was originally going to stop at Save-On Foods, and so we fought hard to bring it down to Dockyard, and now 6 years later, they're cutting it at the Victoria border at Catherine there. So we're fighting again to bring it back into Dockyard, and Mayor Desjardins is taking it up to the commission.
Thank you. And to make it fair for all council candidates, I'll ask a paraphrase question here. How many of you are in favor of spending more tax dollars to increase bus service in Esquimalt generally? West Shore, okay. Of candidates that are opposed to spending more tax dollars to increase bus service. And again, these are really tough for you to answer yes and no, I understand that. Okay, one last question from the audience and then we'll get the council candidates to wrap up. Yes or no, please?
Hi, my name is Maureen Tomlinson. I'm the founding president of the Township Community Arts Council. I know most of you. My question is, will you support arts and culture programs and events with your votes at council in the coming term?
That would be $1 million and cents. Anybody who would not be willing to spend tax dollars on that. Okay, on that note, anything that we really missed? If so, find them afterwards, ask the question. Being so patient. Before we wrap up, does anybody here have the Canucks game on DVR? Okay, the Canucks 1-5-2, came from behind. There you go. On that note, let's start with the Mayoralty candidates again. We'll reverse the order. Who got number 3? Barb Desjardins, 60 seconds, wrap up.
Thank you. Over the past 3 years, Esquimalt has been under siege. We've been dealing with sewage issues and policing. Look where we started though, and look where we are today. We have succeeded with our policing agreement, Viewfield, and responded clearly to CRD around McLaughlin Point. We are a strong and engaged community who know our identity and our value in the region, and we're not afraid to stand up for it. We've accomplished much, but there's a lot still to be done. This election is about working together for a better Esquimalt. It's about what you, the community, want and are saying to the candidates as they come to your door. Many in the region envy our process in Esquimalt for community engagement and the engagement that we receive. I will work with the community and council to make the development of the village project a priority. I will work with council to implement tax revitalization policies that will target Esquimalt Road for opportunities and enhancement. It's been a privilege to be your mayor, and I ask for your support in this election. Together, I would like to work with you for a better Esquimalt.
Thank you for the opportunity to participate here tonight and share some ideas about our visions for Esquimalt. We've had some great ideas and I think it's been a really good discussion. Esquimalt is at a crossroads and I believe now is the time for a new approach that will move us forward to meet the challenges of smart, sustainable growth and good financial management. I want us to be a leader for municipalities in this region. We start that journey with revitalizing the community, cleaning up the downtown, and getting the Esquimalt Village project actually moving. I want to encourage construction of affordable homes for families and modernize our warehouse district so Esquimalt can benefit from new jobs, new tax revenue, and new residents. And let's replace no with yes for citizens who simply want to improve their properties. Let's build a healthy team approach, which includes all members of our council, and move towards problem solving when we run the municipality. I appreciate your consideration as we make your choices at the ballot box on November 15th. Let's get Esquimalt moving again. Thank you and good night.
Hello. Again, my platform is all about high density. We have a brilliant opportunity here in Esquimalt. We really do. We have some of the world's premier coastlines. And all we have to do is sell it to people that don't like snow. It's a pretty simple thing to do. We build high. We have all the coastlines that people can enjoy. And then they come here with their retirement money or their whatever money they got, and they go downstairs and they buy something from the local businessman that wasn't there last year. Just create an environment that's so pleasant for everyone to enjoy, to benefit. Your children in Esquimalt right now cannot be guaranteed a good job in Esquimalt. They have to go outside of Esquimalt because there's no benefits in Esquimalt. If we change the way we do things, we can change Esquimalt for the better.
Thank you very much, Scott. We'll reset the clock for 30 seconds for council candidates, starting down at the end for Megan.
So during my past 2 terms on council, I've always made my decisions in a thoughtful, mature, transparent, and trustworthy manner. I've worked together with my colleagues promoting collaboration and teamwork. I am very proud of the work I have done, but we still have much more to do. Esquimalt is in the midst of some major changes, and I want to be part of that change, your voice on council. I believe that my experience and dedication will serve the community well in the next 4 years. On November 15th, vote Megan Brain for Esquimalt Council, and I'm number 4 on your ballot.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. So I actually bought a prop. This is my ad from the Victoria News from 3 years ago, which I outlined in my platform in 3 points. One was to property tax relief. We delivered the last 3 years of 0% tax increases. We reduced taxes for businesses. The second point was to bring in stability on our policing. We have a new 10-year agreement. They get better policing service to Esquimalt at lesser cost than we ever paid before. Done. And the last one, the big one, stopping the CRD sewage plans. Well, we've all talked about that tonight. So that's my report card back to you, my progress report. I'll give you 4 more years of that actually in the new term. So please consider voting for Tim Morrison. Thank you.
I will continue to advocate for a livable and inclusive Esquimalt. I will assist council in maintaining fiscal accountability, and I would encourage public involvement in decisions affecting our neighborhood. That means I use you, and in honoring our heritage. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this forum, moderator Alan Perry, and to all of you for coming out tonight. Please cast your vote for experience, commitment, and a better Esquimalt. Vote Linda Huckabee. Thank you.
So thank you for listening to me tonight as a newcomer and not an incumbent. I also want to highlight another critical aspect of my candidacy. I'm actually coming to this with 2 mindsets, a municipal one and a regional one. And what I'm hearing more and more on the doorstep is transit, beer, policing, shared services, on and on. So I appreciate that I can bring both of those mindsets, and on November 14th, I hope I earn the privilege of serving you. Thank you.
I'm a man of action and success. You want affordable, clean, safe, and sustainable improvement, protection for our marine and urban environments in Esquimalt. I have the proven skills to bring people together and make this happen. I can develop consensus that will ensure that our council can be effective and move Esquimalt forward. I ask you mark your vote for Salter on November 15th to grow a better Esquimalt. Thank you.
The interesting thing about municipal elections is you get more than one vote, and I bring a unique constitutional watchdog approach to council. You don't have to agree with everything I say, but if you agree with the fundamental freedoms and liberties that our military and people all over the world are fighting for, and you want at least somebody there to say, hey, wait a minute, you guys can't do that, that's unconstitutional. Maybe we should look at the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So on November 15th, vote for Josh Stepford, constitutional watchdog.
Thank you to the Esquimalt Chamber of Commerce for hosting this forum tonight, and to the school board for allowing us in here. But most of all, thank you to you people of Esquimalt for coming out to listen to us. If I'm re-elected for another 4 years, I'm committed to making our community in Esquimalt a healthy, friendly, and vibrant community for
Families and Business. On November 15th, re-elect Bob McLeod.
I would like to say a big thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for organizing this event and for all of you for taking the time out of your busy day to be here tonight. Municipal decisions have a huge impact on everyone's life, and this is your chance to elect a council that will make our community the best place to live, work, and play. In conclusion, I will summarize by saying that I'm running for Esquimalt Council because I care about this community. I believe that thriving businesses, economic sustainability, and environmental integrity are necessary to make our community attractive to new developments, businesses, and residents. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With your support, I will continue to work for you at the council level. I've stood up for the residents, heard the residents, especially on the sewage issue, and I feel that we made the right decision as a council. On every decision I make, I like to keep an open mind, but I'm always open to hear new advice and new information, and I find that providing that to the electors of to the voters of Esquimalt is what you need in a council. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
Hi there, I think we're at a very exciting point. We're at the beginning of a renaissance for Esquimalt. To me, it's very important that our whole community benefits from the growth that we're about to experience. If elected to council, I make a commitment to listen to what you have to say and to be guided by evidence and expertise, using my critical thinking to make sound decisions and look after your dollars. I hope I can count on your support on November 15th. Thank you.
Thank you again to the Chamber for organizing this. A vote for Brenda O'Connor is a vote for fiscal responsibility and a holistic and long-term approach to long-term projects. Business growth and development and encouragement of that as a priority, as well as public input and community involvement as the major priority. So please vote for Brenda O'Connor and give yourselves a round of applause. This is it.
Thank you. Now, before I let that up, we've got one, two things. You're in a high school, so you have a homework assignment. This is great to see you all here, but this is not the turnout that Esquimalt means. Esquimalt needs a much higher turnout. So your homework assignment is to find a friend or two, a relative or two, a neighbor or two, and make sure you share what you learned here tonight and get them to vote for someone, anyone coming up on the stage.
Well, on behalf of everybody in the room tonight, thank you for doing a brilliant job as moderators. A couple special shout-outs to the Esquimalt High School and staff for allowing me to sing to their home for tonight. Another special shout-out to Paulette Flanagan, longest-standing member of the Esquimalt Chamber of Commerce that I know of, for being the lead organizer for tonight's event. And finally, to everyone in the room, residents of Esquimalt, candidates for coming out and exercising your democratic right to be involved in the election process. Drive safe, go get them, and vote. Good night.